Shane R. Monroe, you're in the passenger seat with me. It is Passenger Seat Radio, February 25th, 2025, and you're on my 13-mile commute home to the show. I was too brain dead this morning to be able to do a show on the way in. I'll tell you, it was dark and I was tired. You know how it is. So I figured, we'll save all the fun until I was on my way home. So here we are. So yes, as you may have been able to see by my background, my car is back. They were very, very quick. I can't believe it, how fast they got the car taken care of. She looks absolutely beautiful. Like nothing ever happened, right? That's the idea of having insurance cover the car. Hey, what's going on, brother? How's it going? Welcome. Is it OctoCorp? It's hard to see the phone in the sunlight here, but welcome to the show. Just got started. Haven't missed much. So yeah, I got the car back, and it's sort of a nice little deal with that. I don't know if you've been a long-time listener to the show, you know this, but during a particularly nasty thunderstorm we had, monsoon season here, a couple of years back, the neighbor's tree got struck by lightning. I'm pretty sure it got struck by lightning, and it broke apart and fell and landed right on my car. True story. I even have a video, which is crazy. So it was raining super hard. For those of you who haven't heard the story, for those of you who have heard the story, sorry, I'm going to tell it again. So we had this massive monsoon going on. It was absolutely crazy. And so I took the phone outside, well, to the porch. I wasn't going to get all soaking wet, but I was going to say sopping wet, if you're wondering where that went. Let me get over into this lane so I can be comfortable here. Yeah, so I went outside and I'm just recording this rain, and I panned the camera to the right where the driveway is, where my car was. I then panned the camera back to catch some of the rain on the road, and then when I went back to the right again, there was a tree laying on my car. True story. And oddly enough, I thought, geez, the car is completely dicked, right? I figured it's completely fucked. I figured the back window's broken. I figured the trunk's all fucked up. And it was oddly enough, after I cut the tree off, part of the tree off, and I drove it and got it out of the tree's way, you could barely see. There was some damage, but there wasn't a ton of it. It was just crazy that, you could have a tree land on your car and not take any damage, or not much damage. But all of that was cleared up when they basically replaced my whole trunk. So yep, looks good. The car's back. I'm so happy to have assisted cruise control back. I'm so happy to have walk away car locking again. It's amazing how comfortable you get with technology. By the way, how's the audio? I tried to pipe it through an earbud, hoping that maybe it would sound a little bit better than me screaming at the phone. Let me know in the chat, if you would, how the audio sounds, and if you're a regular listener, how it sounds compared to what it was before. Okay, so I got a list of crap here since I can't use my phone to look it up. So speaking of getting hit, my wife calls me at 6 a.m. this morning. I just fed the dogs. I'm getting ready to get out the door. I haven't even looked at my phone yet this morning. And I see these missed calls from my wife. Missed call, text, I need to talk to you, answer the phone, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I ended up calling her back, and she's like, where the fuck were you? And I'm like, I'm feeding the fucking dogs. What do you think I'm doing? And she's like, I just got hit and run. I'm like, what? Yeah, somebody just hit me and ran off. I tried to run him down. He wouldn't stop. So I get her all calmed down finally. And it was one of those deals where, you had two lanes that were turning left together, and the other car decided to be in her lane instead of their lane. And I haven't seen the damage yet because it was this morning and I haven't seen the car yet. It sounds like it's mostly paint trading, according to what she said later, but she was pretty shaken up about it. You'd think she'd be a natural after all the time she's been in an accident here in Phoenix. But yeah, so I'll get a picture when I get home. They didn't catch the guy. Now, fortunately, she caught a lot off her dash cam of what happened, at least. But even though she tried to run the guy down, she got a license plate right on the dash cam. But basically, the cop took the SD card and said, Okay, I'm going to be clear with you. You may never see this SD card again, and frankly, unless we can prove who was driving at the time, probably nothing's going to come out of this. And I'm like, this is some fucking bullshit. What's the point of having a dash cam if catching them with their license plate on camera running into you isn't enough? It's just, I don't know, it's crazy. So yeah, it's like electronics dying in my household, which I have more of those stories too. Same with my car accidents. Unbelievable. So yes, I did go to the magic show, Rare Magic, at the Canby Autograph Collection Hotel this weekend. We stayed there, 5-star hotel. I got to tell you, I wasn't really impressed, to be honest with you. The Canby, we usually stay at the Hiltons. We earn points and all that other crap, and we're just kind of used to them and comfortable with them. Well, we went to this Canby. This is in here in Phoenix. We didn't have to leave town. But so, and the reason we stayed there was because that's where the magic show was going to be. Rare Magic. Drew something or another is the guy's name. I'm sure you can find it with Rare Magic Drew. That's probably all you need. And it was about $150 for both of us. So it was about $75 a ticket. Hey Hal, how's it going? ICQ Live. Holy crap, that's like old school. Hang on, I'm getting on the freeway here. Once I'm gridlocked, I'll be able to take another look at the chat. Where are you going, pal? You lost? It always looks like that. Guy looked at the highway and said, I'm not getting on there. It's like, dude, it always looks like this at 4 o'clock. What are you talking about? So anyway, so we decided to stay at the venue, at the hotel. That way we could get kind of shitty and get fucked up at the bar. You know, who knows? I mean, half of the pirate show's fun was getting sloshed on, cracking rum. So, listen, I mean, we gotta factor the booze into these things, right? So we go down there. It was Friday night. We went down there. It was actually pretty easy to get checked in. Nothing at all like that Tucson trip. Jesus Christ, what a nightmare that was. We got to the hotel. We got checked in. Found where the magic show was going to be, and we decided to go grab some dinner across the street. Now this is pretty cool. They had this really neat walkway. I don't even know whereabouts downtown we were, to be honest with you. 24th and Camelback. So what's weird is it's like 3 blocks from the hotel that we used to stay at all the time, the Hilton. Weird. I was thinking it was in Tempe or something for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, so we went across the street. We had some food. We came back and we went to check in. So the idea was they opened the doors like 10 minutes before the show, and you can get in and register up to an hour in advance. So the idea was we had VIP tickets. There were VIP and standard seating, and the sooner you got there, the better the seats you got. Now the VIPs were all front row. Any one of those seats would have been amazing, but you don't know that. You don't know what that's going to look like. It wasn't assigned seating until you got there. So we check in, and literally it's like we're 1 seat over, front row left. It was unbelievable. Little tiny venue, tiny little venue. It looked like it was even smaller than the pirate show thing. It was tiny. They had the stage. They had these strobe light things going on. A little bit of fog machine going on. Some trappings laid around, a clock face, an hourglass. Magic-y shit. And so we get in there, and by the way, we double-fisted peach schnapps and vodka, right? Fuzzy Navels. We both had a couple of those down before we went in there. Always get plastered before you go to. I know 2 drinks and you're plastered. No, it wasn't that bad, but we were pretty happy, and we were ready to believe, right? You're ready to believe. So we get in there, we get seated. The show takes, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes before the guy comes on. And I didn't really know what to expect, right? I mean, there's no, I didn't see any reviews. I didn't see anything. So you don't know what it's going to be like. We just hope it's good and we have a good time. So this guy was more of what you might call a mentalist than a magician. So he did a couple of basic, basic types of tricks, hooking rings together, shit like that. But for the most part, it was more of a mentalist act. And I caught him on a couple of them. I'm an amateur study of magic, so I kind of knew what some of them were. He did the old 45 trick, where you have like 3 columns of numbers, 3 rows of numbers, and they all add to 45 in every single direction. Right? He used that, but he added a little something to it. He took 2 cups with a die in there, and he gave one to my wife. I got to shuffle the cards for one of the card tricks. My wife got to be part of the cup. And what the fuck happened there? Holy shit! Some card got really fucked up. There's like glass and sand and shit all over the ground. So anyway, they each got a cup, and she's like, and he's like, make sure there's a real dice that are in there. And she's looking at, yeah, those are real dice, and you can shake them, and they shake around. Yeah, they shake around. So of course, they each shook the cup and they covered it, right? And there's this big theatrical bit, and so of course they uncovered, and what do you think the dice were? 4 and a 5, right? So then he's like, well, I predicted this. Not only did I predict this, but all these numbers line up to 45. It's an old trick with kind of a new twist. And I'm 99% sure the dice were loaded, and they were magnetically, they're magnetic to the cup because they were metal cups. And when he gave it to her, it had a 4 rolled up on it. And when she shook it up and closed it, it was 4, right? So I'm 99% sure that was the trick. But there were a couple of them that he did that were really, really good. It was very impressive. So one of them was, we had this little packet that we got when we registered, right? And it was like a folding thing. And inside were a couple of pieces of paper, a pen, and there were like 3 or maybe it was 5 playing cards. I don't know. There were a bunch of playing cards in there. I think it was 3 apiece is what I thought it was. But anyway, so this one was pretty good. It's a mathematical thing. I'm positive of it, but I can't quite put my finger on it. So he told us to take the cards out of the thing. Each of us got 3, right? 3 cards. So there were 6 in there. And we were supposed to tear them in half and then mix them together, right? Mix them all together. Then he had us mix them again. And then he had us trade with our neighbor, right? Give 2 pieces to the neighbor, and you take their 2 pieces of the cards, blah, blah, blah. Now pick 2 of them and throw them in the air. Now pick 2 more of them, throw them in the air. And then he had us sitting on one. So, I'm sorry, I ruined this, right? So when we first tore it, he said, grab one of them and put it under your butt. Sit on the card. And then at the end, we were down to 1 piece of card, 1/2 of card left after he had us throw a couple of sets on the floor. So then, of course, you flip it over. Mine, I think, was the 7 of hearts. And of course, when you reach under your butt and you pull out the other half of the card, it perfectly matched yours, and it worked for everybody. So I'm not 100% sure how he pulled that one off. It was pretty good, though. There was also another one where the pieces of paper, we were supposed to write something on the paper, something we want to tell our future self. Like if you could write a note and have your future self, find this piece of paper someday, what would you want what would you want them to know? And so we all wrote down a little phrase, a little whatever, and he wanted us to fold it once or twice and put it in this big bowl, right? Then he had some guy from the audience come up and pick one. And then, what did he do? He put it in an envelope, and then they sealed up the envelope, right? So then at the very end of the show, this was an hour and 15-minute show. It was pretty good. He said he was going to New York or something. He's on tour. So if you happen to get an opportunity to see the guy, it's pretty good. Anyway, so at the end of the show, he brings out he sits down and he's playing this very calming music, and he's got this giant hourglass, and inside the hourglass is a little piece of rolled up paper with a little bow tie on it. And at the end of the show, he's like, he starts telling this story about this old man he met in the park, and the old man taught him. He was 66 years old, and then he figured out how many grains of sand were in this thing, yada yada yada. And so he flips the thing over and he starts saying, okay, this is you when you were born, now you're 5, now you're 10, you're 25, blah blah blah, as the sands are falling through. And the idea, of course, is that there's a piece of paper in there. You're wondering, what's the piece of paper for? So he has the guy come back up with the envelope. They take out the one that they pulled out of the bowl, and the phrase was bloom where you are planted. That's what some chick wrote. Whatever. And so, of course, to bury the lead here, essentially he opens up the hourglass, takes out the piece of paper, he rolls it out, and it's a large banner version of bloom where you were planted, right? It's pretty good. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I'm 99% sure, though, that there was no piece of paper in that hourglass when we first sat down. So somehow it got slipped in there. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it was a pretty good show. The best part, though, holy shit, there are some dumb fucking people on the planet. And wow. So being the good magician that he is, he would bring some people up to do tricks, right? He would require somebody from the audience. And he moved all over the place. So if they were plants, there were like 10 of them, right? And I think that's the whole idea, is to prove that they're not plants. So he asks somebody for a $1 bill, right? And so this chick dressed in tight leather, pretty hot too, by the way. So she says she's got the $1 bill, right? And so they go up. She goes up to the stage, and he takes the $1 bill, right? And he's snapping it like this. And he says, so what's your name? I don't even remember what her name was. I don't know, I'm going to say it was Mia. Mia was her name. It's like, Mia, what makes every dollar special? And her face just like blanked. What makes every dollar unique? She said the president that's on it or something. Dude, this chick was dumber than a box of rocks. And he did everything but tell her the answer. And oh my God, he was giving us these sideways winks and shit. She was clueless. It was the funniest shit I'd ever seen. She had no clue. She had no idea that the $1 bills had a unique serial number on them. Not one. She had no clue. Not one. So what he ends up doing is, and so he takes the $1 bill and he tears a corner off of it that has the serial number. He then takes the $1 bill, puts it in a glass, and lights it on fire. So all he has left is the little half, the little quarter strip of the $1 bill. Then he brings out this like a spool of like a thick rope. And he tells us a story about how his brother, and he used to play tricks with his brother, yada yada, big story. Anyway, so of course he has her start pulling the string off of the spool. Inside the string, of course, is $0.75, and she matches it up perfectly with her torn off corner, blah blah blah. And I'm telling you, this chick was just just gone. Woohoo! Nobody's home. Great outfit, super hot. Nobody's home. And nobody was home. I'm telling you. Anyway, it was a decent show. Rare Magic. The guy's name is Drew something or another. Got my little Canby parking pass, right? So you can see I stayed at the Canby. But yeah, so let's see. What else do I got here? Rare Magic. Oh my God. So get this. So I was dicking around watching TV. This was like a couple of weeks ago. I just haven't gotten around to talking about it. But out of nowhere, my TV starts looking funny, right? And I can't put my finger on it. So I stop the show. I reboot my Android Shield TV, or my NVIDIA Shield TV. I reboot it, and it seems okay. And I'm like, okay. So then I go and put a 4K movie on, and it's all fucked up. And I know exactly what it is. It's that super smoothing effect where they add extra frames and it looks like it's all like shot on videotape. It looks like a soap opera. And I'm going, what the fuck is going on? Because I would never turn that on. I would never, ever turn that on. It makes me mental. everywhere you go out in public, you know, my tattoo artist has his TV on. He's got it set to that super 240 hertz smooth shit or whatever it is. Unbelievable. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, I did not turn this on. I did not turn this on. And so I tell my son, I say, listen, do you see this? Do you see what's going on? And he's like, what are you freaking out about? And I'm like, there's something wrong with the TV. It's in that smoothing mode. He's like, I don't see it. What do you mean you don't? How do you not see that? It looks completely different. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really smooth. No. It's not supposed to look smooth. It's supposed to look like a movie. Now, I like this a lot better. I'm like, no. I'm going to find out what the fuck this is. And I still don't know how it got turned on. But somehow, and it's not what you would think it was called. I mean, I was looking for smoothing or 120 hertz or whatever. I was looking, I couldn't find it. It was buried inside of a submenu of a submenu, and it wasn't named anything like you would think it would be named. And I finally got it shut off. I was going to lose my shit completely. I did not want that mode turned on. It was ruining the TV for me. I know, first world problems, right? Wah, your TV's in super smooth mode. Wah. But yeah, it's just crazy how that shit happens. And then my other TV in my office, I'm telling you, I'm on top of an Indian burial ground or some shit. So the other TV, the one that I got, I was trying to get something a little bigger than the little Vizio that I had in my office. And for some reason, I thought the Vizio was a 32-incher. It was not. So I ended up saying, well, I'll get a 46-incher. Just it's a little bit bigger. My sense of perspective is totally off because now I got this giant fucking TV in my office. It's huge. I'll send a picture later so you guys can see it. So anyway, when I got that TV, I hooked it all up. I said, fuck it, I'm keeping it. So what if it takes up half the room? Who cares? But one thing I noticed was that, you know, HDMI CEC, right? Essentially, if you turn on a device that's plugged into HDMI, it'll turn the TV on and will automatically change that input, right? That's what I wanted. I don't want any smart TV nonsense. I don't want your shitty apps. I don't want your ads all over the place. I've got a well-curated NVIDIA Shield TV ready to roll. No ads, no nonsense, no Google Launcher. I'm all good. I don't need your shit. But here's the problem. Is when you first turn off the TV, the HDMI CEC works. But if you wait too long, it's almost like the TV went extra to sleep. It would not wake up when the Shield was turned on. So then you've got to go and get the TV remote, one remote to rule them all, right? That's what we're looking for. Couldn't make it happen. And then randomly I got some update on the TV and then it suddenly was fixed. It's like nothing ever gets fixed for me. I wanted to go buy a fucking lotto ticket because nothing like that ever happens. I would go to my deathbed with my TV still not fucking turning on when my Android TV comes on. But this time, they actually got around to fixing it. I was amazed. I did finish Cobra Kai finally. The series finale, it's over. The last of the last of the last. The last show's the last season. And I know I'm a little bit behind. It's probably dropped a while ago. Big, huge Cobra Kai fan. Which is funny, absolutely did not like the Karate Kid. Not one little bit. Not a fan of the Karate Kid at all. But I love me some Cobra Kai. I thought it was really, really well done. And so I won't say any of the ending just in case you haven't seen it yet. But I will say, outside of a couple of, yeah, that's bullshit moments, right? Because you got to have the happy ending. So there's a couple of bullshit moments where you're going, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll boop, 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 push the I believe button. Boop, 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 boop. Holy shit, I just got passed by a motorcycle that's got to be doing 90. Did you guys hear that? Crazy bastard. I'll be driving over his dead body on the highway here in a minute. He'll fly right off of that bike. Anywho, so Cobra Kai ended well. Everybody's storyline got pretty well tidied up, and it ended the way you would hope it would end. So that's nice. And I also started Reacher season 3. Now, if you're not watching Reacher, get on Reacher, man. I was pissed when I blew through those 3 episodes that they dropped just like that. Bing, 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 bing. Love me some Reacher. And if you're not watching that, you definitely want to check that out. The season 3 has been great. I thought season 2 was fine. It wasn't great. But season 3 has the potential of being great. I mean, I'm only 3 episodes in. So, we do what we must. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. And of course, now I got to wait for the next shit to drop. What a nightmare. Let me see if I can get the chat back up here. No, not that. How do I bring that? Oh, there we go. First live. Audio is good today, but isn't. What did I say? What day is it? Is today the. Oh, it is the 20th. Son of a bitch. Yes, the 25th is tomorrow. All right, listen. The older you get, the less the dates matter. Which, you know what's great about this is I'll actually post the show on Spreaker or whatever tomorrow, so it'll be accurate for tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, so Reacher's really good. I'm enjoying that. What else do I have on my list here? I'm trying to get rid of some of this low-hanging fruit. So how about Overwatch 2, right? I don't know how many of the people that watch the show here or listen to the show are Overwatch players, but let's be honest, they kind of dicked that up, right? I don't know why this isn't going back down. They dicked it up, right? They did bad things when they killed Overwatch 1, they brought in 2, everyone's pissed off, 5v5 versus 6v6, everyone's pissed off. Well, then Marvel Rivals comes around, eats their lunch, and now they're trying to fix their shit. The loot boxes are back. They're actually looking like they give a shit. And of course, you know, everyone over at Overwatch like, well, we didn't want to break the game with a lot of big changes. We were playing it safe, and so we can't play it safe anymore. Yeah, no shit. Now that your lunch is getting eaten right out of the box, you know. So anyway, yeah, whatever. So Overwatch 2 is actually starting to get interesting again. So I may have to cut my rival time down a little bit and go check out Overwatch 2, which, by the way, Overwatch 2 plays so great on the Steam Deck. Rivals is okay, it's playable, but if you had to pick between the two of them on the Steam Deck, I would definitely take Overwatch on the deck if that's what that's what you have to play with. So very exciting. So yeah, I've been experiencing some PC issues, which is really weird. This PC that I got's not very old. It's pretty new. I'm sure those of you who are longtime listeners remember when I got it recently. But I keep getting, listen, blue screen of death is like a Windows 7 and before thing, right? You hardly ever see blue screens of death anymore. My computer has been doing nothing but blue screens of death. And listen, I worked as a computer technician, troubleshooter, all of that shit for years and years and years. I know my way around shit. I know how to troubleshoot. This one has been particularly egregious. So I kept basically doing the standard troubleshooting shit, right? And that is take shit off until it stops blue screening, right? And it doesn't happen all the time. You could go 24 hours with no blue screen, then out of nowhere, bam, blue screen, blue screen, blue screen, blue screen. And it's always the same shit in the event viewer. It's always the same shit. It's driver